Bro, I'm sorry, but what the fuck is this? If you look at, you can literally Google it yourself, because I had to Google it myself to make sure that this was actually a real thing. But you know how we just had the fires in Maui? How the fuck did this book already get written and published? Also, notice the publication date, August 10th. Also, notice in the description how it says it chronicles the events from the 8th to the 11th. Bro, we got AI writing books already and then publishing them. Am I the only one that sees, like, this needs to be shared and this needs to be made aware that we have people or AI already writing books about a natural disaster, publishing on a day, the 10th. That was, what, 2 days? A day after the Maui fires even happened? What the fuck?
I'm doing a voiceover. This is footage earlier at Napili Park. I didn't feel safe speaking freely about the situation while I was there, but the police are issuing permission slips for residents to freely come and go to their homes, to other parts of the island.
How long have you guys been in line to get these? 3 hours? Been in line 3 hours, but it's probably longer now, you know.
Okay, I just didn't want to talk over where I was actually speaking live there, but I'm going to walk along the line so you can see there are thousands of people here at this park. There were 2 separate locations where they told people to come get these permission slips, which would allow them to leave their houses, travel to other parts of the island that were unaffected, and return. Now, one very important thing to note with all of this is many of these people, including us, live approximately 20 minutes away from the fire, and we are very, very far away from any structure or any, any building, car, anything like that that was directly affected by the fire. We watched the fire from very far away, and there was no fire here. Another important thing to note is the power is now back on. At the time, at least where we live, the power is back on at the time that I'm making this video, but we do not have communication, and we have some other issues still. Now, the thing that I don't understand, and I've asked many people who are police, who work for the mayor's office, I've asked them why this is necessary, why people cannot go freely from their houses to other parts of the island that were unaffected and that have medical supplies and other things that they may need, and free communication to the outside world without having to hike to the top of a hill and get to a tower on Molokai, which is what I've been having to do. And nobody's been able to tell me why this is necessary, what the safety concern is with people who live here leaving their houses and returning. But I don't believe anything they tell you about this. I mean, a lot of people have said, oh, the people can do that, but I have interviews of many residents saying otherwise, where they were, stuck in Kihei, stuck downtown, and so you're given this choice, and then they tell you that, oh, well, there's a medical trailer. There's a medical trailer down in Gateway, which is there sometimes and has some things, but it doesn't have the medication that I need. It doesn't have the medication that many other people need. I've interviewed people who cannot get their medication, and they're being given a choice of leave your house without being able to potentially come back and be homeless downtown, live in your car, whatever, and then you can get your medication, then you can get the food you want to eat, then you can get the water you want to drink, or stay here and eat the food that we designate to you, drink the water, get the information that you need. I've actually been told by multiple people when I've complained about the fact that we don't have free communication to the outside world, I've been told all the information that you need is coming from the planes, which is insane. I mean, it's basically, these planes fly overhead and they give you these little 5-second messages, and that's it. That's all we have. And then I've been told, you know, oh, there's free Wi-Fi here, there's free Wi-Fi there. This I have not found. I've been all over the West Side, and at least for me personally and for my wife, we have not been able to connect to any of these Wi-Fi networks with any success. So there's a lot of crazy things going on out here. There's a lot of things that are not right, in my opinion. Please stay tuned.
Take a real close listen to what the governor of Hawaii had to say about the fires.
Of the destruction of Lahaina, it does appear like a bomb and fire went off. It does appear like a bomb and fire went off. All of those buildings virtually are going to have to be rebuilt. It will be a new Lahaina in its own image, its own values. It's going to be billions of dollars. We are so coordinated with state, county, and federal support that it took less than a quarter of a day, 6 hours, to get the approval from the president to bring those resources in. This was, of course, a shock to see a hurricane and its winds. I think that we're seeing this for the first time in many different parts of the world. I've been contacted by several governors across the country to share their experiences in a time where global warming is combined with strengthening.
So let's just go over a few of the red flags that he said. Very coordinated. Bomb and fire went off. All we will need to rebuild is billions of dollars in its own likeness and own image with its own values. What does that even mean? And it's so coordinated with state, county, and federal support that within less than 6 hours they got approval from the president to bring resources, hurricane-type winds that just happened to be the same time as the bomb-like fire. Governors calling to share their experience. So we start the press conference out with bombs and explosions, then set up how we're going to get some smart cities in Hawaii, and then we end it with 2030 propaganda of global warming. Right.
All the rich families, the monarchy, all the presidents, they're all related to these trans-dimensional shape-shifting lizards.
How does a wildfire that's random somehow not take out some of the most wealthiest, largest estates on the island? How come Burger King and McDonald's and Walgreens and these big
Very unusual sight captured on camera. Japanese and local astronomers say a Chinese satellite was recently seen beaming down green lasers over the islands. This video captured atop the Subaru telescope on Mauna Kea, operated by the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan. Bryce Moore has the story.
The lasers flash for just a couple seconds. Initially thought to be from a NASA altimeter satellite, the Japanese put out a correction note on Monday saying NASA scientists found a most likely candidate as the ACDL instrument by the Chinese Daki-1 AEMS satellite. I went to a University of Hawaii astronomer who read up on AEMS instruments.
It's a Chinese satellite that is measuring pollutants, among other things. It has many different instruments on it, some kind of topographical mapping, or they're also used for measuring stuff in the Earth's atmosphere. And I think that's what it is. It's an environmental measurement satellite.
I also sat down with the former chief of staff of Marine Forces Pacific. He had some questions.
I'm not sure, this is my opinion, why the Chinese, who are probably some of the most prolific polluters on the planet, would be collecting data on pollutants on this side of the Pacific.
Both experts say this isn't explicitly a spy satellite. It is cataloged and known by governments around the world.
The U.S. has satellites that do the same thing. So in this case, despite all of the flurry, well-deserved flurry about Chinese spy satellites and other devices, this one is just orbiting Earth and has a known orbit.
The footage was taken January 28th, before the recent incident where a Chinese balloon traversed over the mainland U.S. before being shot down off the coast of South Carolina. Which brings the question, how much is the Chinese military seeing?
They can shut down any communication nodes that they want if they believe that, I think, the public is getting too much information. So, yeah, I think it's more probably military than anything else. That's makes sense.
I had to ask,
is this a risk to locals, to Hawaii?
No, it's not a risk to Hawaii or any place else. The We have aircraft making these kind of measurements all the time. If you've seen topographical maps with high precision, those are made using sometimes this kind of thing.
It seems to me that those tensions are there. People are a little antsy, and I think we just need to be a little bit more aware, vigilant.
I reached out to the United States Space Force to see how often Chinese satellites scan Hawaii airspace and if there's been an explanation from China. Officials are working on getting me a response, and we'll bring that to you as soon as we hear back. Bryce Moore, KHON2 News, working.
Did you know Oprah Winfrey has been securing Maui land like it's a trending bestseller? In just 2023, she invested in a vast 520-acre plot for $3.89 million, then went for another 330 acres at $2.47 million, not to mention the two 10-acre patches she bought in 2022 for $100,000 each. From a mere 100 acres in Maui, Oprah now commands over 1,000 acres. But here's the twist. Amidst this real estate surge, a sudden fire happens, destroying homes nearby, but leaving her vast terrains unscathed. Does that ring a bell? Think back to 2017. A deadly fire consumed homes near her Montecito mansion. Yet once again, Oprah's property emerged untouched. And after that event, she expanded her Montecito land holdings to a whopping 70 acres, even snapping up a 4-acre complex in 2019, which was decimated by mudslides shortly after the 2017 fire. The connections, the acquisitions, and the timing are definitely food for thought. Stay tuned with us for more mysteries and money tales. What do you think about these coincidences? Share your theories in the comments and let's unravel this together.
So conspiracy theorists think that Oprah fired a laser on Maui. Well, alright. So conspiracy theorists think that there was no hurricane and that Oprah or Jeff Bezos or Joe Biden fired a laser on Maui, and depending on who you ask for different reasons. If it's Oprah, it's because she wanted a better view. If it's Jeff Bezos or Joe Biden, it's to do a land grab. But if it's the US government, it's not just a land grab for land's sake. It's a land grab to create an all AI city. None of this is a joke. It's 2023 and people still don't understand Photoshop. So yeah, that's happening.
So we're all getting pretty familiar with this face right here, right? So this guy went from Vegas to Maui. He also wanted one of his buddies to go with him, right? One of his buddies from Vegas to be his deputy chief. So they gave the buddy, Charles Hank III, $15,000 to go to Maui. He quit 10 months later. And as you can see on the title of this one, he wanted, well, the panel recommend that he got a raise. It's a big number for a police chief, right? But so here's the interesting part. After 50 days on the job, Maui police chief asked the police commission for $195,000 a year instead of his current annual salary at $158,000 a year, a 23% raise. However, commissioners believed he deserved more and recommended a 29% raise. What? What did he do to make so much money? And I also posted a video how he had a lot of write-ups, and a lot of the people that were already on the police force with him, they quit. The people that were already there working, they quit because they said they feared him. It was like a dictatorship, and one dude lost like 20 pounds working under him. He cussed some woman out. So what did he do to deserve a 29% raise, and they recommended it? What? So then there's this. If Pelletier's salary is increased to the level, the annual salary for deputy chief, Charles Hank III, his buddy from Vegas, would increase to $150,000, or from $150,000 to $196,000, which is 4% less than the chief's salary. So this dude's making almost money as a chief. Yeah. I don't know about this. This is 2022, February 2022. They got some big raises last year. Wonder why.
In January of this year, Maui had the Smart City Conference where they said Maui would turn into a smart city. And essentially the plan was to make the whole island dependent on electric, solar, and renewables. There's just one problem with that. The locals whose families have been there for generations refused to give up their land and sell their homes. And in September, Hawaii will be hosting the Digital Government Summit, where they're going to discuss AI's role in governing the islands. Okay. Isn't that strange? Like, all of this is happening in 2023.
She is one of many heroes and heroines, one of many. But this is who we are. She represents who we are.
Thank
in this
you for
community.
your work.
No, that's not who you are. That's what's so weird. Oprah's going around like a doppelganger, taking on the identity of these actual poor people who are actually helping. Oprah has almost nothing in common with these people. Nothing. She's just walking on the same island. But economics-wise and class-wise and her past-wise, she has nothing in common with common people. And she's trying to go into this disaster to try to feel like a real human being. She's like Pinocchio. She just wants to be real.
Next, Oprah returned with two sisters, both feeling lucky to be alive.
6 hours in the water. We jumped to the ocean because we trapped.
They have 9 family members in all inside the shelter.
9 family members in the shelter. Oprah can't relate to that. She has a camera crew inside the shelter. And then she brings these old ladies in who are real, praying, actual human people. Oprah's like, I think I want to be human too.
And yet,
This is what I don't understand. Every time I've seen you and your family, your spirits are still so high. You all seem, you seem so okay.
It's baffling to Oprah that this is the way real human beings work.
Our life is the blessings. That's all we're thankful for.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so sad. No more memories. Everything we left. Only in the heart. It's all that we bring in.
I like Oprah grabs her own heart when she sees the old lady grab her heart. I guess that's what normal people do. So I'll put my hand on my heart and be like these ladies who really are wonderful and survivors and heroic.